Hey, now we're 2 minutes to the top of the hour. Before I bring my guest, I would like to tell everyone that when you listen to these questions, when you enjoy the conversation, everything that goes on, just take it as though you're doing it yourself. So, who's coming on board? Her name is Ashley Egbo. Shout out to Ashley because she's doing amazing things with YouTube. Go follow her channel. There's so much you can learn. She's going to ask me a lot of questions. I'm going to ask her a lot of questions. We're just going to go back and forth for about 30 minutes and then see how it goes. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. So stay tuned. Keep it locked. And don't forget to check out playinc.online. You know, there's so much going on. There's a fashion show coming up. I'm excited for Houston next month. You know, there's so much to look forward to. So shout out to Atlanta. Shout out to Houston. Shout out to the world. If you're listening to me from any part of the world right now, thank you. Thank you so much. By the way, after this, there's also going to be some other episodes for you to check out because today's Tuesday. And you know what that means. The episode series continues. So we're going to call Ashley right now. And when we do call her, you guys just pay attention to everything. And I'm so excited because this is actually the first official interview that's being held like this. So I'm going to give her a call. We're all going to be here. So pay attention. Pay attention. All right. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hey, Ashley. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. It's so good to hear from you.
I know. Same. How's Atlanta?
Atlanta is really, really great.
Poppin'.
So much is popping. Yeah, for real. How's Houston?
It's same. Houston is the same.
Okay. I'm definitely
Same
going to
as
be
how
out
you
there. Speaking of, I'm coming back there on the second week of February.
Like, you're moving back or you're just coming to visit?
I'm just coming to visit.
Oh, how long are you going to be here?
I decided to be there for a week.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so you're not even going to come for Dial's wedding?
That's what I'm coming for. So I'm gonna.
You said the second week, not the first week.
No, the second. Yeah, that Valentine's week.
Okay.
The whole week
That
I'll be
makes
there
sense.
from
Okay.
Tuesday.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's going to be a party.
For real. That's crazy. So I was like, when we spoke the last time and I knew you wanted to do YouTube, first of all, I've subscribed to your channel. I love, I love the look, the feel. Like it's you, you know, like I can see how much effort you're putting in. And I want you to just tell everybody what you do and what inspired you to do all this.
I think I posted a video of like a get to know me tag, and one of the questions was that, you know, like why was I inspired to do YouTube? And I didn't think anything of YouTube until I was in college and I was, you know, starting to think about moving back. Not moving back, but moving to a different country, different continent, like just being around different people, a different culture. And Australia was in my mind. It was the only thing I was thinking about. It was the only thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to be Australia. I absorbed as much as I could about the culture, and I found that the best way to like learn more, not just about the research and the law and all the geographical, you know, aspects of it, but also as far as like the culture goes and the people and like the lifestyle, was YouTube. I started watching videos, and then I found out about vlogs because I was like, what is a vlog? Like, I didn't even understand. And at the time, I was just watching anything. I didn't really like understand YouTube in the way that I understand it now, as far as like all the background work, all the equipment, all the creativity that goes into YouTube. Like, people hire people for their YouTube channel, like, to help with their graphic design, to help with their intro videos, to help with music, to help with editing. Like, there's so much about YouTube that I didn't even know when I first started watching it. And then from that, like, love affair with getting to know Australia and, like, the Australian people and the accents and the lifestyle and all that stuff through YouTube, I ventured off into, like, you know, watching makeup tutorials. And then I really got into, like, watching people clean. And then I realized, like, oh my God, I started to realize a lot about myself by the videos I was watching. There was a lot of things that I didn't know about myself until, like, I would go to my history and I'd be like, oh, there's a lot of clean with me, or there's a lot of cook with me, or there's a lot of organized with me. And I started to realize that I'm drawn to things that are very homely, domestic. I like to say I'm a domestic princess. But anything that has to do with, you know, cultivating a home. I am also a Cancer, so we are homebodies, and we love creating and, you know, trying to build like a space that we can call home, no matter where we go. So yeah, I found that YouTube was great for that. It helped me tap into that, and I think, you know, that was, I don't even know how many years ago. And so now, after like being and living in Australia and coming back and going through a lot of challenges and all those things, I'm like, you know what? It would be great to start a YouTube channel right now when I don't have anything, you know, on my plate. Like, I could, you know my story about school and all this stuff. And so I've been just trying to, while I'm waiting to, you know, take the boards again and all that stuff, I have this free time. And I've never had this free time, and that was always my excuse. And so now that I have this free time, I'm like, what excuse do I have? Oh, I don't have a camera. Oh, I don't have lights. Okay, well then how are you going to start? You got to start somewhere. And so I think it's intimidating because the YouTubers I'm watching now are very like advanced. And I think that I have to be like that to be a YouTuber. But I forget that they too started with just their cell phone, or with their Mac, or with their laptop. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah.
That's great, because definitely when you look at YouTube creators now, they take into consideration what they have with them as equipment, because they know people are going to watch. And now YouTube is turned into a studio. It's not just a video watching platform. You can play games on YouTube. So people subscribe on YouTube for, you know, it's like a Netflix now. So
it's like a Netflix, right?
Right.
You can watch movies.
Exactly.
TV now.
Right. Yeah. And you know, back in the day, I remember how, like, back in 2016, I remember doing a YouTube series with a radio personality. Shout out to Maria. She's in Nigeria. She was on Beatz FM. And we did like a whole YouTube series about literally in a restaurant. She was interviewing comedians and celebrities from Nigeria. And we went to a TV station and we pitched it to them, one of the big ones, and they wanted the idea, but they didn't want to credit us. So I was like, no. And she was definitely not with it. And then I was thinking of for season 2, we'll now bump it up and go to their houses and do like, you know, in my crib and everything like that. And that was what I was thinking, but I had to leave the country and I came to the US, and then she also moved on with stuff, but I could see what could happen. So you
can see that potential.
Exactly. And we didn't have YouTube TV back then. So imagine now you can literally pitch it to YouTube, Netflix, wherever you want to go, and you just build a whole series for yourself. It is a full channel. Right. And then people can see your growth.
Issa Rae. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember when Issa Rae was on YouTube, and that's all I knew about her is that she was a girl. And now the girl is living her best life, just straight from YouTube.
Wow.
So,
and it's crazy how YouTube works, because now I'm able to see how it works from somebody that can monetize their YouTube account, because I also do brand consulting and I also manage accounts too. So I've seen there's one client that has YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook verified to the point where I can now be able to monetize the YouTube videos. And I've seen it on there's a time I posted one of the videos, I went on my phone to test it, and I literally clicked on the video and said non-skippable ads. So that means any ad that you watch on YouTube, they can't skip it, and they did that on purpose. And that's great because
so that means they automatically make money from it. No?
Exactly, they do, because you can't make money from YouTube ads until the video is finished. So if you can't skip it, it's gonna finish, and when it finishes, that's a check. So that's how it works.
So people, so for example, if I'm watching a video and they have because nowadays they do 2 ads back to back.
Right.
And one ad would be either both of them are skippable or one would be skippable. So basically the ones that, get you to count down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and you skip it, you don't make any money from that, even if you watch 5 seconds of it.
You're not going to get much value for it because they're trying to find the top buyer. So the top buyer is the person that finishes the ad. Like when you watch on TV, you can't rewind. Back in the day, now you can pause TV, you can record. But the concept of how ads used to run back then on TV was that ad had to finish because whoever paid for that space paid for that time. So you use that same concept, but now you use that concept on a platform that you can be able to manually put in that data. And then from there, you can decide, okay, I'll let it skip, or I don't want anybody to skip this ad. And whoever is going to watch it, the suggestions that come before and after your video, they matter, because whoever is putting ads in that space, that's why you keep seeing ads that relate to you or relate to something you talked about, or your food or product that you talked about. It could be anything. And by the time you're doing that, you are building a fortress. And that just creates a space that people don't even know that they're enjoying your videos. And it doesn't have to be
your videos,
right. And it doesn't have to be long, because I realize if the average person watches YouTube videos for at least 3-4 minutes, and that exact time is literally spent watching a music video, because that's what most people do.
Right.
So if your video is 30 minutes long, it's either people are going to go to exactly where they want to go, or if they're really they can skip.
They're really into your video.
Correct. But you want to catch them at the top. So if you have a 4-minute clip talking about food, talking about anything, hair, products, and you're doing all that in 4 minutes, everybody's going to watch that video in 4 minutes, and you can still put that on Instagram as a TV version, and you can put 2 minutes of that. Right. You can put 2 minutes of that, because IGTV gets more organic and more views faster than just normal videos, because it's a new platform and it's not an algorithm that has been let's not say tampered with, but more like altered. So you can be able to use both to your advantage, but you can't promote Instagram videos, but you can promote posts. So do like a 30-second ad. Before you know it, people are going to click on the link, and it's going to go straight to your YouTube. And a great platform for you is blogging, because you said vlogs. Blogging is like the mother.
It's like the mother of it all. Agreed. But the thing about that's one platform that I'm like, whoa, I don't even know how to step into that, because with blogging, there's a lot of writing that goes into it.
Yeah.
And that's one of my struggles.
Okay.
With blogging, you don't have to write. And even writing a description for a YouTube video is overwhelming at times. I'm like, what do I say? So blogging is I think if I do blogging, I would definitely need to hire somebody. And then it's like, what's the point? Unless I really tap into that, writing. I know you don't have to be perfect at writing, but I do know that a lot of blogging is, catching your audience.
The thing about blogging, pretty much is, it's like even a website that doesn't need a blog has a blog, because that blog is data that people put to describe what their business is about, which people can search on Google. And when they search on Google, they get more relevant. And when they get more relevant, you can go on google.com/trends and put up any fashion or any cooking site or anything that relates to what you do and see what people are typing to find the right keywords. And those keywords, you add them into your blog. And then you also, right. And you, like the way you do your resume, if they talk about this and that, you got to match. So it's kind of like the same concept, but now for your personalized videos and blogs. And then you can so now those YouTube clips you got, you can now put those links into your blog. People can read. It's a 250 words, right? 250 words, quick. And before you know it, people are watching your videos, and that's how all these blogs be picking up all this news, and that's how they now end up watching videos, and then they go personalize it and find it on their phones, stream it on their laptops. It just becomes revolutionary. So you gotta hit them on all angles, but you gotta know where they are and how to know.
You have to know where those angles are.
Exactly. So like right now, what do you see on your platform that you want to change, alter, or adjust?
I think my main thing that I didn't realize that I had to do was become more active and more become more interactive on my social media. So I find that even with YouTube and like with Instagram, I just want to post things and then go. Like, I don't even want to be like, hey guys, like my video, give this a thumbs up. Like, I find myself like that's such a force. Like, that's something that I feel like, oh, why do I have to tell them? Like, they should naturally want to do it. I don't want to push them. I don't want to be too pushy. Even on Instagram, like, I'll just post whatever I have to post and go. Like, I'm not like my picture. And sometimes, you know, I see with other YouTubers is like, oh, giveaways and, you know, making sure, and I know that brings a lot of content or collaboration, which I didn't even think about until one girl on my Instagram, she was like, hey, I'm from Houston, I would love to do a collab. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, that's another great way to build, you know, some type of recognition for myself. But I don't think that far. And so I think I love YouTube because I just really want to tap into my creative side, and I haven't had any platform throughout my whole life besides music. But even with the music, when I was in college or when I was, you know, at church, it's very, you know, centered around Christ and like very faith-based. There's really not much creativity that I can do or that I knew to do. So this is the first time where I'm like, oh my gosh, I can do something. I can build, you know, this portfolio of myself and present it to a whole bunch of people the way I want to do it.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand. I guess I'm realizing, like, I'm going to have to put in some backbone work that's not just going into editing and creating this, you know, portfolio, but also promoting it and doing it in a way that's not too pushy and not too obnoxious. And one person that I really like that I'm starting to like get a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to get a lot of their influence from is Lydia Dinga. She's on YouTube, and she is probably the most relaxed, so relatable because she's also African, and she's a young Black woman on YouTube, and she's doing her thing. Like, she went from working full-time at, like, some desk job, and now she's a full-time YouTuber traveling, living her best life. And I'm watching how she's interacting with her followers, and, like, it's not forced. She's very lighthearted. She's super funny, but she's also putting out content, putting up a lot of polls, she responds to every single DM. Like, the amount of times I DM'd her, y'all, you would think I was her best friend. And then I also have to understand, like, that also means, like, you know, communicating with the followers, not just putting content out and being interactive without, you know, like, speaking to them. It means, and I didn't realize that also comes with it too. So
yeah, because how I'm looking at it though is more like the stuff you're telling them and you're showing them. If you put that in a blog format, transcribe it into like a little piece and give them the ingredients, they will always come back because you're giving them free information that they can go buy and then they'll come back and be like, what else did you cook? And then before you know it, you get a friend, you get a fan, and then you start to create that bond. And that's when, and that's when people organically want to be around, because they know that they're going to get something in return for their time.
Right, exactly. That's the goal, is I want people to feel like they're getting something in return for them watching this video or clicking on this link, or that's the goal.
And I think the next step for you, because you're already doing it so well on YouTube, you just got to put that into a website. But you can do it in two ways.
I agree. Okay.
You can either start with doing a website, which is going to be the hub for all your videos, all your interactions. And then we can talk about like how you can integrate it into so many other platforms that will make your work so much easier. Because at this point, you want to be the person that if you're going out and you're on your Instagram, you want to be social, you want to talk back to them.
Right.
If you want to talk back to them, one quick way would be to be like, okay, I'll go to Target, I'll get a $25 gift card, and you put out something that people can be like, oh, okay, they can buy groceries with this, or they can buy your recipe with this, something that is tailored for you, and they can see it. And it's not about how much it is. It could be 100, it could be 5, but at the end of the day, when they see the value and know that, oh, if I be on this channel, this is what I can get, this is what I can learn. You never know what somebody is gonna ask you until they know about something. And then when they know about it, they'll be more inquisitive. And then they want to be like, okay, let me be more curious and figure out how I can get my bearing. And when you find it, you want to do more, you want to explore. And some people, especially in America, the food that we cook from back home, they want to learn it, but you're not going to find it from a restaurant. You're going to eat it, but you're not going to learn it. And of course, you can find it on...
You're not going to learn it,
Right. You're not, and you're probably going to be on YouTube and seeing other people do it, but there's a difference between somebody showing you and
actually doing it.
Right. And then if you have an email fan base and you give them a PDF magazine or something in return and say, hey, this is a holiday giveaway, and everybody gets their emails, before you know it, you have a list of people.
Like a list of people to not like a fan base, but a list of people to start with.
Exactly. Communicate with. And then your YouTube just starts to grow, because you're always going to have stuff there. And now you build it. And then the second thing is LinkedIn. LinkedIn has... I'm actually about to do an episode on the power of LinkedIn next, after this episode. Because in the span of a week, actually, this is what I was thinking. Last week, I wanted to do episode 4 and 5, but I told myself, let me give myself a break and just let it simmer and actually go into LinkedIn. And crazy, me just thinking out of the blue to just do that, not with any intention. Now I have 5,000 followers on LinkedIn. I've never used them, and I've been on LinkedIn for so many years. And I've just been beefing up the profile. It's just making it sure that it's up to date and it's current, and that's it. It's like a little Wikipedia page, and I just kept building it. And before you know it, within this past week, I've been able to talk to 2 people. One person, now that's a client. The second person is somebody who I actually reached out to, and I was looking at the message thread today, and I was like, this is crazy. That's the person who I was talking to that gave me her email address, because I said I want to email her a pitch. I reached out to her in 2018, and she read the message and didn't respond. And this is 2020, and she put out a post on LinkedIn, and I went in straight to the comment section and I talked about it. She liked it. She responded. We talked. I went back to the inbox, forgetting 2 years ago that I had sent her, you know what I'm saying? And I quickly said, hey, this is a business question. Can I be able to do this? She sent her email address. Then I looked up and I was like, wait a minute. So I talked to her 2 years ago, but she would not think about that or remember, but that's not it's business. So I went straight into that shark mode, and I now said, okay, this is what we're going to do. So LinkedIn literally gives you the key to the room, because you have all these people and you can have an article as good as a blog on your website. So if you have both, or you have either or, you are definitely going to get into groups. And one big thing right now is Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups. If you go on Facebook, if you go on groups and type anything that relates to what you do, post your link there. Just keep posting it, keep sharing it.
That's actually pretty good. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some 100,000 members. Somebody will see it eventually. And the good thing is that you posted it. So if it goes viral, if anything happens, it was there.
Yeah, true. You're right. Facebook groups. I didn't even think about that. And LinkedIn was not even on my list to even try to go to.
Yeah, LinkedIn. I've been studying LinkedIn for a while, and I've just been like, what is behind this LinkedIn? Because I know people are getting things done. People are getting jobs from LinkedIn. People are getting things.
I know that.
It's not, and it's free. So I was like, let me go into this thing and study it. So now I've realized articles is a power to your source, because this same client that I was talking to, that I was actually friends with last year, that I was working with, happened to be on my LinkedIn page and saw my article and reached out to me. And I was like, because I was doing my podcast and I was transcribing and putting on a blog format. So for people to know that there's something that exists, you got to put it out there, because nobody's going to go to my podcast. What are they going to find or search or type? So I got to,
how would they even know? Yeah.
How would they know?
Yeah.
Right. So
when are you trying to post that one? Where can listen to that one?
That one is gonna be done today, because this is happening right now, and as soon as this is done, I'm going straight into the next episode. So this is gonna be like the intermission, back into podcast mode, and we're talking, and then from here, now that I've talked about LinkedIn, it just brings a whole new episode and talks about everything, because I have all the points down. And now I'll give you the breakdown, things from your profile, how it should look. If you need a profile, literally how you put your resume there. If you've worked somewhere, you got to find it. If it's not there, find out why. Like, there's so much you can do. And it just expands your connection, because you're literally giving somebody a digital print of who you are without you telling them. And they can figure out whether they want to talk to you or not, because they've seen your profile. So if you've gone to the schools in Australia, you've been here, you've done this, you've done that, they're not even gonna question. They'll be like, this girl is doing her thing. She knows what she's talking about. And that's a quick conversion. You don't have to convince them, because you're already talking.
It's like it does the work for you.
Exactly. So I'm gonna talk more about that. And
that'll be so good.
Yeah. This is crazy. That's how I've been just building this, because another thing I'm really big on is the word is like narrow marketing and lead automation. And those two words just lead automation, where you're able to get contacts and leads, that's name, phone numbers, email addresses, from people in Facebook using an ad. And how it's done is people throw ads and spend money, but there's a way to spend money on an ad.
Right, on an ad, so that it's effective.
Exactly. You don't want to spend $20 and you get 500 likes.
And then nobody's
looking at buying anything. Right. So there's a difference when you now use a platform. And the platform I talked about it in one of my episodes. It's called Constant Contact. And when you go to constantcontact.com, you set up your account, you log in, it's like MailChimp, but Constant Contact literally gives you the key to everything, because that's where you're able to do Google leads. If you have a website, you can literally advertise your website through that platform. It connects it to your Facebook, so you don't have to go through Facebook to do a post. So they're going to do it for you. And then they have all the metrics. Who are you targeting? I actually did a test this last month, and I was like, this is crazy, because I've always wondered, how do people get email addresses from ads, because that's what people need for email marketing, so that they can, promote their products and stay consistent. Because email marketing is number one. There's mobile marketing and there's email marketing. But if you want to do mobile marketing, there's an app called Avochato, Avochato. It looks like an avocado. It's on the App Store. Yeah,
Okay.
it's really nice. You get a separate number. It's like having a Google Voice number, but it's different, where you just operate differently, and then you pay a subscription fee. That's if you're doing it for business purposes and you have like contacts,
Right.
and you have people talking to you, and you have like 3,000 numbers. All you got to do is just tell them to just go in there, and it locks it in. And then once it locks it in, you can upload the contacts. If you're getting anything from a spreadsheet, it's very friendly. But now, instead of using Avochato for mobile, you can now just do it straight from Constant Contact, which I just got to know recently.
Okay.
So now with that one, you also have something called Facebook Leads. And that lead automation I talked about is where you can literally have a specific time and frame of how much you want to spend within a set budget. So people don't know how much to spend on an ad, and that's the first problem.
Right, that's the issue.
The ideal figure, and this is according to different studies and research, and I've also done my part, and I've seen the sweet number. If you spend $6.25 a day, if you multiply $6.25 a day times 30, you get, that's times 30, that's in a month, that's $187.50. So let's say you have a $200 budget, and you put it for an ad for a month, and you put that money into that Facebook lead automation or Google, or you split the cash, and you can do both. When you do that, that's when it's really, really going to show, and to be beneficial for you, and you start seeing people contacting, and they'll leave their email addresses, and before you know it, you have a whole store.
Wow, okay.
So those are the things that you can think about, because when you're building your Instagram, when you're building your YouTube, you have your LinkedIn, you have your blogs, don't forget about advertising, because know how Instagram now, they're big on, if you don't have an ad, your post is seen by at least 10% of your followers now. So you don't get as many likes like you used to. So if you have an ad that is specific to what you do on your page as one, but it's coming from a completely different source, people can see it outside your page. So it's now treated as a different entity, as a third party, but people can still access you, and you can get the right people. So I did an ad. I did an ad for 1 month, and I got about 101 contacts. I didn't talk to one person, and those 101 people were in the area that I chose. The interests, the age group, if it's male, female, and it gives you those people, and it tells you how much you scored. I scored like an 8 out of 10. So if it shows you what you're doing, because you also need to know what you're doing to get the results. So
of course,
and that's where we now come in. So if you have those questions, or if you want to do a test, we can run those things and say, okay, I have a special video that we can use to promote, and then just see what happens to your numbers. And if your numbers reflect and you see a difference, you'll be like, oh, okay, I might do a little bit more, or I'll do a little less when I'm ready. Then you can make your decision.
Wow, I did not know about, and that's another thing. It's I think education as well, and knowing what resources can I use, and because there's so many resources, it's what resources is right for me, and what resources is going to be and like you said with the ads, what ads do I need to do and put out that are going to be beneficial? There's so many ads, and there's so many ways to do it, but which way is going to be beneficial for me? And I think taking the time to figure that out and do research on it will help me a lot. And I think this podcast too has opened me up to how serious it is, and how much free as well. I know there's things that will cost, but like you said, even LinkedIn, but those are all still free platforms. And then when I more ready to invest in those things, I can build a subscription base for it.
Go from there. because when you start having a fan base and you have people paying for stuff, like let's say you have a recipe or you have something that you can put out there on your website and people are paying for that, and it's very inexpensive, you know, like $4.99, $9.99, something that people can use to their benefit, but you're at the same time you're building their resource, because you're not just doing this because you cook great. They would definitely want to taste your food, and I'm sure you'd want to taste their food. So maybe if they're in Houston, you can throw out an ad and say, okay, we're going to have this open market, we're going to go to this venue, we're going to do this, and whoever comes out, we can cook and see how this works, and whatever recipe you're trying to present or promote, that's one, and that one can lead to 1,000 because everybody wants to taste it.
Okay, that makes sense. And it just shows how versatile YouTube can be. Like, you take it into so many different platforms. You can do so many different things with it. Yeah. Which was so helpful. Wow.
You're welcome. This is something that we gotta, you know, push out and let people know, because when you try it and you see what happens, you get amazed. And it's crazy how when we were trying to do our birthday in like 2018 and you use the app Hobnob, I used that app again for my birthday last year and it was a success. So I'm like, this app is crazy. It's amazing.
I use it for everything.
So I just knew that if you're using the app right, and the app is there for you and you're using it for whatever occasion, you can definitely do it the right way and get the best out of it. So
and get the best out of it.
Right. So YouTube is it. So I know definitely when I do come, we can sit down, talk about something and
properly,
right. Then by the time you get to a number of followers, you can say, hey, I want to get to the first 1,000 subscribers. Boom. Second 1,000. You know, before you know it, you're just getting hits. And then whatever you've put out in the past, people are still watching it because it's still valuable.
Watching it. Right. Okay. That's what I also want too. Yeah. And I think I just need to also like invest in like the proper computer equipment. Like I know that I don't need like I don't need lights yet, or I don't need a microphone yet, but I do need a good computer for storage and like editing and stuff. So those are all things I think a part of me is also, I started my YouTube channel now just to, you know, get me in the hang of it, get me, you know, comfortable with the camera, get me comfortable with speaking on camera, and like how do I want to edit. Like at first, like one of my first videos, I kind of like have long stretches of videos because I didn't know that I could like cut off at certain times, and like it's just interesting. Like I think now I'm like learning. As I'm posting, I'm still learning and I'm still growing, and I want it to get to the point where when I do have 1,000 subscribers, I feel confident with my editing and my video style, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So definitely when you come, we'll sit it all down and put it in writing, because I have to have it in writing as well, and I'll take some notes and stuff.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Definitely. It's a plan. This is great. Yeah, this is like the first official podcast episode I'm doing like this, and I want to do more because this opens up a lot of conversation.
Yeah. You get to talk to a lot more people. Yeah.
That's true. Is there anything else you want to know or I missed out?
No, I think a lot of my questions now are, you know, like I said, the ones that I would want to ask in person, where I can like really pick your brain and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. I feel like I learned so much.
That's great. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. There's so much that I want to see happen with media and just content, because content is king and consistency is queen. So
that's good.
You know, You gotta make sure that they're packed together, and the tighter they are together, the longer they can withstand the pressure.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what happens in your next episodes. What you got coming up next? What's next? What's coming up for everybody?
I think the next thing I want to tackle is a vlog. So, I tried to do a vlog like a couple weeks ago, but like I said, because I don't have the right storage equipment, like by the time I got all of the videos on the phone and on the laptop, it just crashed and burned. And so I need to, but that's definitely like the next thing that I want to tackle is, vlogging and, what type of vlogs. And I think that's essentially where I want to go. I love vlogs, and I definitely want to get into it. So
okay,
that'll probably be the next one. Yeah.
Okay. You can do a vlog series on like a recipe that's something you like, that you can use different samples to create the same thing.
Right.
And then use that as a collection. Yeah.
Yes. And like a series. Yeah, exactly.
So it's more concentrated and people are more attentive, and it's like you missed step 3, you got to go back. So it's very continuous.
Yeah. That's what I definitely want to get into is like series and like putting groups of videos together so that it all makes sense and it all tells like a story.
Yes, it does. What's your favorite thing to cook?
I think my favorite thing to cook would probably be my favorite thing to eat, which is pasta. And like every time at the house, we were always cooking pasta. There's always some type of pasta, and there's so much versatility in pasta, and like so many things you can make. Healthy pasta, you can make the cheesiest, meatiest pasta you can ever think of. So I think that's my favorite thing to cook. As far as like, I don't like baking because baking is very hard for me. It never turns out the way I want it to, as far as from scratch. But one time, me and B made the homemade cinnamon rolls, and that came out surprisingly really good. But
okay.
I think my favorite thing to cook would be anything savory, anything that has to. I love to cook, period. And so anything that has me in the kitchen with onions and garlic, I'm there. If it has to do with flour and eggs and butter and milk and sugar,
yeah, that's the icing on the cake.
That's another story.
Do you have a favorite spice that you can't like not allow to be
parsley.
Missing?
It needs to be. It has to parsley, and it's so funny because we will always say it don't taste like nothing, but if I don't have it in the food, I will not eat it. It's like my food will be so bland. So yeah, my favorite spice would be. I said in my first video, it has to be like a concoction of onion powder or onion granules, garlic powder, and parsley. Like those are. You need them. Yeah.
Why do you need them? For people who probably don't know what they.
I feel like it is, and this is also something that is very like cultural, very like pertains to the Nigerian culture. But Maggi, right?
Yeah.
Like Nor cubes, like they have a distinct taste, and every time you put them in something, it riches it. It makes it, deep and dark and very like good. And I think that's what onions and garlic and parsley do. Like when those flavors marry together, like it adds that extra depth of flavor that even if it's like actual onions and actual garlic, sometimes if I don't have those seasonings, but I have those vegetables, even the parsley, like I'm happy. I wouldn't even need the seasonings if I had fresh parsley and garlic. And onions. Right. So it's really the marriage of all of those ingredients that, any person, any chef will tell you those are like the base of a lot of ingredients, and I think that's what it is. It's a good base to start off with. It can make any vegetable. I don't like vegetables, but if it has onion and garlic and parsley in it, I'll eat it.
Onion, garlic, and parsley. Okay.
Onion, garlic, and parsley. And even now they have this garlic and parsley salt already mixed together.
Wow.
You don't even need to.
Where do they sell it at?
Everywhere, because it's that, and it's like lemon pepper seasoning. It's like one of those things where it's like it's already together because people use it so commonly together.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, I gotta find that too. Wow.
Yeah, and then I think also another underrated seasoning or spice is ginger. And even in the Nigerian culture, I feel like it's not. You never hear of a Nigerian putting ginger in their food.
My mom used to talk about ginger a lot.
Really? With what, though? In respect to what?
When it came to food, it wasn't really a part of the recipe, but it was in the house when they dealt with a lot of liquids. So...
Or sicknesses or trying to get...
Yeah, but with food, I've never really seen, like... I don't know. I haven't seen that completely.
I really got into it when I was in Australia, and it's very common in a lot of Asian dishes and like stir fries and soups and all that stuff. But I started getting into like really trying to make Nigerian food less oily and less, greasy.
Yeah.
And I got into, like, what other flavors can I add that, I like in other cultures, which is like ginger or cumin from like Indian culture, or paprika from like Spanish culture. There's so many other flavors that I'm like, this would actually work really well with my garlic, onion, and parsley, or this would actually really work well with this type of spice. And so I use it a lot when I have it. I forget that I forget when it runs out. I don't remember to get it, but when I do have it, I love it. So it's not like a necessity, but it does add a little kick. Okay, nice. Definitely, that's something that I want to try, because when you don't know about it, you just keep buying what you think you know. What you know. Yep. Exactly.
Because you go to a store and you see all these spices and you can't use all of them, but you don't know any of them if you don't really learn or research.
Oh, yeah, nobody takes the time to like put a little bit on their finger and taste it, and unless you're like a food fanatic and you travel around the world and eat food, like you will never probably sometimes be able to experience those flavors. So I think that's another reason why people love watching cooking videos and cooking channels, is because it invites you into a world sometimes you wouldn't even think about diving into. So.
And you need it.
And you need it. Mm-hmm.
That's true. I can't wait to see what people, talk about and, their questions, because it would be nice to also have people ask you back what you do, and that will lead up to other conversations that you probably don't even know, and then that could influence your cooking, influence your taste, influence your imagination. So it's endless right now, and there's so many cuisines you can cook from. So definitely this is something that we can put into video format, blog format, and you can end up doing podcasts like this and talk to other people, and before you know it, you have a network.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that. So thinking outside the box, that's what I need to start doing. Yeah. That's what you're good for. And that's what I'm very grateful for, having good coach friends that are in that type of business field. It's not just you, also Ashley, she started her own podcast. And I feel like...
Shout out to Amina.
And I feel like she's amazing at being creative and showing different avenues of being creative. It's not just YouTube and Instagram every day. There's so many other platforms and ways to do it. I think she just had like a vision board party or something. And, you know, those are things I know that people do, but I forget that that's something that you could do. So, yeah, I'm trying to figure out the exact name. Oh, yeah, it's Creatively Cultured. That's her podcast.
Yes.
If you guys want to go and check her out.
Yeah, it's great content, great energy.
Amazing content and great energy. Yeah.
For real. That's a great platform that you can also listen to and know how to, you know, put your path in the light, because sometimes it's so simple, but it's so complicated. But you make it complicated because you don't want to understand the simple fact.
Right. The simplicity of it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the main key out there. That's the main key. So yeah, definitely let's keep talking, let's keep growing, let's keep connecting. If you have any questions, just do let me know. And if you have any ideas, you can bounce it off my way and we can see what to do, because now I'm just thinking if you start doing them in little bits and now your episodes come in collections, put them in playlists, get to a point where you can now put them all together and pitch it, because you already have like a 5-season show.
Right.
So like,
I guess the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal. So right now, like my last question would be like, what is your next step after this? Like January's ending, we're going into February. What is your next goal?
I think my next goal is to start to
Are you there? Sorry, I missed you for a second.
Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can.
Sorry, I think my AirPods just died. But I really want to venture into conversations, and like conversations with women, conversations with Black women, conversations with all types of women, conversations about relationships. I love talking about relationships, and not, like I said, not just relationships between like you and your partner, but relationships between siblings and parents, and a relationship with yourself as well. And so I think what I envision for my overall goal, with at least starting a YouTube, is being someone that people can come to when they need, you know, more answers or more, or like help with, you know, understanding, you know, people in their lives and understanding relationships. I'm not saying that I have it figured out, but I do have a lot to, you know, give. And so that's my main goal. Is eventually, it's cute with all the vlogs and the beauty stuff, but I really want to get to a point where I can have conversations, kind of like the ABCs that I have on my IGTV, but, you know, make it more so that it's kind of like counseling maybe, but not in that such restricted or, you know, the stigma that comes with counseling. Very, you know, open, and that so that men can ask questions as well about women. So yeah, that's pretty much my goal. Nice. I can't wait to see that happen. It's gonna be. And I can't wait to catch up with you too, because you got a lot to catch up on. Yeah, we do. Definitely. I'll be there on a Tuesday like this. I'll be there. So it's gonna be great. All right. Perfect. Definitely. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Talk to you later. Talk to you later. Bye. Say bye to everybody that listened to you actually before you go. Okay. Okay. I'll tell them bye. I'm still in the car though. Okay. And then this is also on the podcast. So if you want to shout out to anybody or say anything before you go, you can say it now. The floor is yours. I don't need to shout nobody out except Jesus. Facts. Period. I already shouted everyone needs to shout out. Hey. That's lit. Okay.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too, favorite. Thank you so much for having me on here.
You're welcome, Ashley. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Bye. That was great. That was amazing. So you've heard it all. Go check out Ashley's podcast. Check out Ashley's YouTube. Check out Ashley's show. Check out Ashley's Instagram, because all these things are going to be coming very soon. You know, it's growth. And when you start to grow like this, it takes a whole different turn. So that was your host, Flaev Beatz. And that was Ashley Egbo. Check out her channel. Check her out on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, and definitely connect with her. There's so much you can learn from her. There's so much value in content, information, and growth. And that's beneficial to you because we all need it. I need it. So you can rewind, you can fast forward, but definitely catch these notes down and put them down and make sure they work for you, because they will work for you if you put your mind to it. So with that being said, I'm out. It's your boy Flaev Beatz, and check out for episode 4, because we're about to start tonight about the power of LinkedIn. Check us out later. Talk to you later. Peace.